Welcome back to Game 1 of the Magic the Gathering World Championship, where Bob Maher Jr. is trying to decide whether to attack with his minion. However, what Bob really needs right now is a Phyrexian Colossus.
I mean, the Colossus requires Finkel to have 3 blockers, but he's still going to have the minion tokens later. He doesn't have to attack now to get rid of the tokens.
Right.
3, 4, 5, 6. Make a token. Yep. 2 mana left.
Maher still does have Colossus in his deck. We've checked, and
1
it's
mana.
not in the graveyard or the remove from game pile.
0 mana left. Make another token. Block both your tokens.
All right, so all those 1919s collide into each other and go away. If he had Tinker now, he'd be done. So he's playing to, he's got to draw Stroke of Genius next turn or have it in his hand. 2 of his Stroke of Geniuses are in the remove from game pile. Finkel's already well aware of those.
Tanglewire.
Oh, Tangle Wire. What does that do?
You're up. End your turn, port.
Doesn't seem like it's...
Sounds good. I think I did this math right already.
Finkel had already anticipated Tangle Wire.
Alright, put Tanglewire in a stack. Yep. In response, I'll make a token. Okay.
What's interesting is I think the way that Maher played it, he may not have Stroke of Genius available anymore. Stroke of Genius may not give him the win.
Oh, interesting. Because he's unable to untap his Grim Monolith. He's going to have to tap his lands to the Tangle Wire. And Finkel still has enough mana to make 2 minion tokens. He'd already worked that all out ahead of time. That's why he played the second key.
3, 4, 5, what's up? Your turn.
Wire in the stack, reading in the stack.
Yeah. Yep.
It's a big draw phase.
First one, stroke. No, benefit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I'm not gonna slow roll you.
Maher just admits it. Nope, I don't have it. They're friendly enough to have enough respect for each other's ability to understand the game that they're beyond the bluffing mode.
I think what they're thinking about here is that, or at least what Maher is thinking about, is at what point
3,
he's going to attack first here.
5, 4, 0, block.
Yep.
Yep.
Finkel makes a token. Brings it over. Oh, Maher does have Fran Dynamo. Doesn't look like he's got enough mana fast enough, though.
Go.
Not sure exactly how many cards are left in Maher's library, but it won't take many attacks for 19 to finish him off.
I'll put the wire on good old stack there.
Yeah.
Finkel making minion tokens before processing Tangle Wire because he wants to just tap the token.
Right.
Tokens can't attack the turn they come into play anyway, so
4,
just goes ahead and taps it.
5. This token.
Remember back when Maher was going to easily win this game with that 1919 processor token?
Boy, it certainly seemed like it.
Then Finkel was going to easily win the game with Colossus.
Boy, did it certainly seem like it.
Crumbling Sanctuary looks pretty good for Maher.
Boy, it certainly seemed like it.
Tap these 2. Draw a card.
So Maher's going to take 19. Or, okay, he can make a token and block.
Sure, make a token block.
He needs Stroke this turn. Finkel almost out of cards in his library.
Your turn.
He loses the game if he's ever forced to draw a card that isn't there.
Fire in the stack.
And Stroke of Genius will do it. Thrain Dynamo means Maher has plenty of mana. Can he draw Stroke of Genius?
Go ahead, John.
He can survive one more turn, I think. Yep. Finkel's got 2 tokens. Maher's going to be able to create a minion to block one of them. He's going to lose 19 cards. But hey, maybe the Stroke is 20 cards down, right?
Exactly. Looks like Maher will stick around to see one more draw phase.
It's too late for Colossus, though.
Yeah, I think you're right, Randy.
It's too late for Tinker or Colossus to help him out.
Have these two.
All right. Finkel processes Tangle Wire. And attacks with a pair of 1919s. Maher's obviously going to make a token to block one of them, and now 19 cards get removed from the game.
19.
Hopefully we'll be able to see which ones they are. Maher's going to slow roll us. He has 18 left. One more hit will finish him. Is one of these Stroke of Genius? Couple Tinkers.
He hasn't lost one yet.
Oh, there it is. So Maher gets one more draw phase, but I don't think there's anything left for him to draw.
Tap it. 2, 3, 4.
Cool. Okay.
Plays Mastercore just in case he needs it.
So this has got to be a Stroke.
Unless we've miscounted, there isn't one left. And there it is. Jon Finkel wins the most amazing game of Magic I think I've ever seen. The key play in this game came when Maher played his Crumbling Sanctuary before attacking with his 1919 creature. What he didn't realize was that by doing so, he left Jon with 20 life and the ability to make 1919 creatures of his own. This very slight misplay cost Bob the game.
Magic players have always used the internet to talk strategy or check deck lists. Well, this year at the World Championships, they can watch the final via webcast. We're now going to jump ahead to the 5th and deciding game of the match between U.S. National Champion Jon Finkel and Pro Tour Player of the Year Bob Maher Jr. Let's recap the action. In Game 1, we saw one of the most amazing games of professional Magic ever played, as Finkel barely edged out Maher to jump out to a 1-0 lead. Maher came roaring back in Game 2 as he took full advantage of a mediocre draw on Finkel's part. Whereas in Game 3, Maher continued the assault, playing a quick processor, playing it safe, and only paying 7 life. When Finkel searched for and never really found an answer, he ended up losing quickly to a swarm of 7/7s, and Maher was one game away from being world champion. Not to be outdone, Game 4 was Finkel's turn for the explosive draw, as the game was over in short order, and we were tied going into Game 5 at 2 games apiece. Let's learn more about Bob Maher Jr.
The World Championships are on the line, but I feel surprisingly relaxed. John and I are good friends. It'll be a friendly match, and whichever one of us wins will be a great world champion. My strengths in my game are especially my patience and fact that I can calculate odds pretty quickly. The deck I'm playing is a deck that Jon's playtest team actually put together, and then I found out through some mutual friends of mine and theirs what they were playing with. So when I showed up here, I told them that I knew about the deck, so then they let me into their playtest group, and I got the deck from them. I just clinched Pro Tour Player of the Year, and I feel great about it. And to finally have it clinched is a huge weight off my shoulders, because I don't think I'd ever have another chance like this for quite some time. If I could become Pro Tour Player of the Year, World Champion, and win a Pro Tour in the same season, I wouldn't ever feel like I had anything left to prove. I feel like I was the best player in the game.
Before this event, Jon Finkel was way above the competition in terms of prize money. His second place finish here ensures that Jon's winnings would be double his closest competitor. Jon Finkel and Bob Maher are making their bid to join some of the greatest Magic players of all time in the right to claim the title of World Champion. It's time for the deciding game number 5.
Both players are comfortable with their opening draw. Maher plays an island and says done.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
It's interesting that Bob Maher didn't necessarily have to be sitting here in this game. Back in game 1, he played a Crumbling Sanctuary in an attempt to deck Jon Finkel. Had to, because he was going to get killed by Colossus if he didn't. But he played it before attacking with a 1919 creature. That Finkel, later in the game, still had 20 life points left over to use to make 1919 minion tokens of his own for his own processor. And that mistake cost Bob Maher Jr. game number 1. If he attacks first, then plays the Sanctuary, there's no way for Finkel to get out of it. And Maher would already have won the World Championship. I don't know.
So now at game 5, if Maher Jr. loses this one, well, could be known as the one that got away from him.
It's not clear that Maher even realizes the mistake he made. The players have been up on stage. I'm pretty sure Finkel saw it, but I haven't really seen Finkel say anything to Bob about it.
Yeah, Maher may be completely unaware that he made any mistakes in this match.
He's going to hear about it afterwards, though.
Oh, yeah. You betcha.
It won't sting nearly as much if he wins this game, though. If he wins, doesn't matter. If he loses, it matters. Maher attempts to cast Tangle Wire, and Finkel's got the annul.
Go ahead.
Finkel's got Tinker. Bye-bye Voltaic Key. And hello Colossus Processor?
I'm thinking Colossus, unless he's got a lot more artifact mana in his hand.
Phyrexian Colossus. 8/8, almost impossible to block. Just a little bit of life to untap. Finkel tinkered Phyrexian Colossus into play. He's all tapped out, though. We'll see what Maher's got up his sleeve. Maher taps 4.
Time.
For 3 and Dynamo. Taps that for 3. And plays Tangle Wire. Oh, my.
That was huge.
Finkel forced to tap 4 permanents.
Go ahead.
That includes Phyrexian Colossus.
The wire on the stack in response to that's nice one.
That'll make it really hard for Finkel to ever attack with this Colossus. If he was able to get in 1 hit, then he could pay 8 life, attack again, pay 8 life, attack again, take 16 but deal 24 damage. Tangle Wire throws off the math, though.
Finkel's got to find another Voltaic Key.
If he's got Voltaic Key, he can get out of this. But without Voltaic Key, he'll be forced to come up with some other damage source. Land, Voltaic Key.
Attack.
Oh, he pays 8 life and attacks.
That's 12.
Is this a key?
Oh,
Yes! That was huge! That was huge!
Voltaic Key. That key means Finkel won't need to pay any more life in order to attack its Colossus.
We'll be right back to find out if Maher has an answer to Finkel's combo of Voltaic Key and Phyrexian Colossus.
Welcome back to Game 5 of the World Championship Finals. I'm Randy Buehler, here with Brian Hacker, and when we left you before, Bob Maher was trying to find some answer to Jon's Phyrexian Colossus. Well, Maher does have a tinker. What should he go get, Brian?
Bob's best chance right here is probably to try to get some offensive play and put Finkel under the same life pressure Bob himself is feeling right now.
All right, Maher puts Phyrexian Colossus into play. That's some offense, and... oh, tinker number 2! Now what does he go get?
Wow, well, because of Bob's earlier Tangle Wire, Jon was forced to pay 8 life to untap his Colossus, putting himself at 12 in the process. Something like a Masticore coupled with a Colossus of his own here would at least give Bob a fighting chance.
Yeah, it looks like Bob has decided on Masticore with tinker number 2. Suddenly, he's got 12 power worth of offensive play, threatening a lethal counterattack.
Yeah, absolutely, Randy. The fact that Bob now has 12 points of creature damage staring Jon down limits Jon's options this turn pretty severely. He can't very well use the Lone Voltaic Key to untap the Colossus and attack because Bob would just simply crack back the next turn and win the game. If he doesn't have anything else in his hand, I think Jon simply has to sit tight, say done, leave the Colossus on defense as he gets the Key and the Colossus synced up to allow both an attack and the threat of a block.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Finkel's going to be able to attack this turn. He's looking at his options.
He's got a lot of cards, Randy.
We'll see if he's got the answer yet again. That's why they call him Jon Finkel. All right, Finkel's got... oh, my!
Ooh. Voltaic Key number 2. Wow, that's awesome for Jon right now. That key is going to allow Jon to attack right away because he can now untap his Colossus and have the second key ready to untap it again to block. That was very timely for Finkel.
Down 4.
So Jon plays the second key, attacks for 8, putting Bob down to 4, and casts Tangle Wire. Wow, what an incredible turn for Jon Finkel. Maher's now going to have to come up with an answer to Colossus with only 2 mana available to him. Bob untaps, resolves Tangle Wire, draws, extends the hand. There it is! Jon Finkel wins the 2000 Magic the Gathering World Championship, taking out PT Player of the Year Bob Maher in an exhilarating 5-game match.
What an awesome performance from the best player in the biggest tournament of the year.
So Jon Finkel takes home the title and the $34,000 first place prize. Maher earns $22,000 for second. Let's hear from the new world champion.
I was worried a lot. I was down 2 games to 1. A lot of times I just threw what I had on the table and said, try to beat this. And, Bob's looking at his hand with 6 cards, for about 5 minutes. And I'm like, please don't beat it. Please don't beat it. And he didn't.
So for Randy Buehler and Brian Hacker, I'm Todd Harris. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.
This program is brought to you by Magic the Gathering, the trading card game of strategy and imagination.